While Steadicams have been available for longer than I've been alive, gimbals are still relatively new in the cinematography space. And today, I'm going to review the Zhiyun Crane 2. Okay, so full disclosure, I'll let you know that I have really only come across the Zhiyun brand this year in 2018. Prior to that, I'm very familiar with Freefly and DJI. I assume Zhiyun was just another fringe company getting into the gimbal space, but as you'll see, that view is rapidly changing. Here's a super fast unboxing. The Crane 2 has a payload of 3.2 kilograms, which should hold most DSLRs on the market. Coupled with the 3 motor settings for the varying weights of mirrorless and full frame cameras, this should be adequate. It has 3 18650 batteries, which you can find in just about every power brick for hardware to electric car batteries these days. Battery runtime is predicted to be 18 hours, but I found it struggled to last between 12 and 13 hours, though that could be due to the cold temperatures we're experiencing here in Australia's winter at the time of review. I watched one tutorial online and I was up and running in 10 minutes out of the box, of course after charging the batteries. I can see that as I use the Crane 2 more, I should get that setup down to 5 minutes or less, no trouble. The only initial issue I had with the mounting process was that the thumb screws for the barrel mount were not aligned correctly, where they would run into the lens barrel once tight, but it was easy enough for me to take them off and rethread them accordingly. The other obvious issue right away has to be the placement of the rear axes. The rear axis blocks the screen for most DSLRs. I am lucky that I can flip out my 6D Mark II screen, but this is certainly a design flaw over, say, the Ronin S, which has a lowered rear axis so you can see that screen. There are markings on all the axes as well as the base plate for reference. I suggest saving these hash marks into your phone with the specific lens and camera combo. This will save you time down the line to make mounting a painless breeze. That being said, I would have liked the app to have somewhere where you can save these measurements. Just my 2 cents. There is a dual handle attachment available for the Crane 2, which will certainly improve the amount of time you can hold the gimbal, but I did not have this with my version to test for this review. I do like this option though, as the handle is not the best and it has no rubber grip feature to help keep your hand in place ergonomically. This is really common with a lot of these new small gimbals, stick gimbals I suppose you'd call them. So if you can get the dual handle option, I highly recommend it. Extremely easy setup. Firstly, I'm used to building my gimbal from a box of parts. Both various Movi and Ronin gimbals I have used up to the point where I discovered the Zhiyun brand have been large boxed beasts. So the Crane 2 is refreshing to me. It's a more or less ready to shoot kit that comes in a neat little carry case that you can take as carry-on or in your regular luggage. The kit comes ready to shoot. The package includes a tripod stand, batteries, battery charger, and all the various cables you would need to connect to the big 4 DSLR companies, those being Canon, Sony, Nikon, and Panasonic. So your GH5, 5D, or A7S, for example, will fit and be compatible with the controls such as f-stops, focus, and camera movement via the joystick control. Right away, this is something that makes Zhiyun very attractive to buy, as at a comparison, DJI's new Ronin S does not come bundled with cables for Canon, Nikon, and Sony cameras. You know, only the 3 biggest and most commonplace DSLR companies in the world. There's a neat little screen that's approximately 1 centimeter squared that shows all your various modes and settings the Crane 2 can cycle through. The joystick allows you to move the camera in all directions as you would expect from a joystick. There is a menu wheel that allows you to cycle through various options of the gimbal, such as payload weight, inverted controls, picking which camera is mounted, and various other minor features. This wheel also doubles as the f-stops, so when your camera is connected, I found it a breeze to use. The weakest part of the whole gimbal package has to be the Zhiyun Play app. The app uses Bluetooth to connect to the Crane 2, however I found the pairing would struggle at times to find the gimbal even when the phone is next to the gimbal in the same room. There is no passkey, which means if you are not running the app, then anyone with the app can connect and take control of the gimbal. While many pieces of camera tech don't use a passkey, I certainly prefer having that option. The app doesn't remember the gimbal upon exit, so every time I connect to the app, it must find and pair to the gimbal. Bit of a hassle at times when you're in a rush on a shoot and time is of the essence. The main issue with the app is that it requires access to my phone contacts and listens to my phone calls, as is well documented on Google Play reviews. Really not a fan of this, as I can't see why the app would need my private information. The app boasts an option for motion time lapses, which sounds great, but like just about everything in the app, I wasn't able to get it to work correctly. It wouldn't save my start and end points. Also, the preset save coordinates button really didn't work. I wasn't able to test the anticipated follow mode as a result, as depicted on the Zhiyun website. As a result of the countless problems, I haven't been able to test the app properly. Overall, I'm extremely disappointed with this app. This is probably the worst app I have used for camera equipment. The Crane 2 is virtually idiot-proof with a simple one-button on-off system. Simply press and hold the red button to power on the unit, or press and hold the same red button to power off the unit. The Crane has a quick triplet press of the mode button to flip the camera around 180 degrees. I absolutely love this feature. Connecting your DSLR to the Crane 2 has the added feature of inbuilt charging from the gimbal's batteries. Very handy for all you Sony users out there. Initially, I found the Crane 2 had a slight wobble when walking or moving the crane around. I found this was caused by the wrong settings for the motor being selected. It was on light, but it really needed medium for my 6D Mark II to eliminate this wobble. Thank goodness it did. The Crane 2 now comes bundled with a follow focus to help keep your shots sharp, so this is a worthy contender from a price point of view. Compared to offerings from DJI and Freefly, the Crane 2 comes in at a modest $800 to $900 Australian, which is a few hundred cheaper than the Ronin S here in Australia. Though I have seen that this can be the opposite depending where you are buying from in the world. I know the US is having a bit of a trade war with China right now. Perhaps that's got some reason why the Zhiyun is more expensive to buy in the US over the Ronin S. No idea other than that. Well, that depends on what sort of shooting you're planning on doing. For basic vlogging, this is overkill. I can't see why you'd want one of these. But for professional grade DSLR tracking shots, I see gimbals as a must-have accessory moving forward into 2019 and beyond. We have already been using Steadicam type devices in TV and film for decades, with the more recent generation of Movi and Ronin existing on just about every set. Therefore, having one of these in your arsenal only adds to the type of gigs that you can accept, thus making you more desirable to hire. So ultimately, it's a thumbs up for me. I think a gimbal is a must-have accessory. Is the Zhiyun Crane 2 the ultimate gimbal? I'm not so sure. I think the Ronin S might be slightly better here, but I really do need to do a hands-on review with that to compare. So yes, I think the Zhiyun Crane 2 is an excellent tool of the trade, and if you are going to work professionally, I think you should get one of these or an equivalent. Alright, thanks for watching guys, going to have more reviews every Saturday, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye. Whoa!